Well, it seems like big changes are afoot for Marvel Studios. Bob Iger has had a lot to say in the last couple of days, and it might eventually be good news, but there might be some upcoming pain that has to be endured. Let's talk a little bit about what he said, where this is going, and why ultimately it might mean more Avengers for us. Now, before we do that, though, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and ring the bell for all the updates. We do daily Marvel and DC videos, and we totally want to be your place for all the superhero news, but we're going to bring it to you truthfully and transparently so you are in the know. Well, if you guys remember last year, a lot of trades started to report that Disney was intending to scale back a lot of Marvel Studios content. This was both in the theaters and for Disney+, and they were going to implement a more quality over quantity approach. Now, as things have been moving around, we've really noticed Marvel definitely taking this approach, and honestly, I think we're already seeing some of the effects with Daredevil Born Again really listening to fans. Now, Bob Iger pretty much confirmed this during a conference call last month, but now he reiterated that there is going to be a much more reduced volume of content with a renewed focus on stronger franchises. So this came from the recent Disney earnings call, where Bob Iger said, "I'd say we're leaning a little bit more into sequels and franchises. I think given the environment and given what it takes to get people out of their homes to see a film, leaning on franchises that are familiar is actually a smart thing." In our zeal to greatly increase volume, partially tied to this wanting to chase more global subs for our streaming platform, some of our studios lost a little focus. So the first step we've taken is that we've reduced volume, we reduced output, particularly in Marvel. Looking to our 2025 slate, we're excited to bring audiences Captain America Brave New World and Fantastic Four for Marvel. Pixar has Zootopia 2, and then there's Avatar 3. Now, there's a lot to unpack here from Bob Iger, but this would certainly seem like a pretty smart move. Marvel has had a tough time getting people into theaters for some films. Recently, the Marvels did very poorly at the box office, and honestly, introducing so many new characters, even in theaters, I think has caused a bit of confusion. This combined with the deluge of content definitely is keeping people away. Now, one thing people noticed was he didn't mention Thunderbolts or Blade for the 2025 slate, leading to some speculation that they've been delayed or removed. Now, the same day this call happened, we got reports from Yelena Belova actress Florence Pugh that she was about to start shooting the Thunderbolts. So I don't think these projects are canceled, but I wouldn't be surprised if Marvel moves some stuff around, particularly because they are new franchises. Now, one word Bob Iger did not mention here when talking about all this, I think, is the big A word, and that would be Avengers. Let's be real. Marvel Studios did fairly well at the theaters, but it wasn't anywhere near the Goliath we know today till that first Avengers film dropped. Avengers, Age of Ultron, Infinity War, and Endgame are some of the biggest movies ever and dominate the tops of the all-time box office chart. I really think this is what Bob Iger is talking about. Yes, there could be more Captain America or Thor or other well-established franchises that people know, but I think ultimately what he's really talking about is getting people back to theaters for stuff they know, and there's nothing more the general public knows than the Avengers. Now, we have 2 Avengers movies coming up in the next couple of years with what they're calling Avengers 5, which was Kang Dynasty, and of course Secret Wars. And given his statements, I would not be surprised to see these 2 movies broken into 3 movies, maybe a Secret Wars Part 1, 2, and 3, and making it a much bigger event to get people back into the theaters for Marvel products. Now, ultimately, this is a good move, and Iger is really cleaning up the mess that Bob Chapek made when he overstuffed the pipeline. It was always really clear Disney was trying to get stuff to the streaming platform because they really didn't have enough content for their own platform. It would have probably been a better move for Disney to wait a little longer, buy Fox, and then have a much bigger and diverse library of content to offer people before setting the platform up, but I think this is one of those cases of hindsight being 20/20. It's not all bad news for Disney+, because although the platform has lost some viewership in recent months, it still sits at well over 100 million subscribers, which is a ton of monthly residuals, and with shows like Echo costing them about $40 million to make, I don't think it'll take very long for the cash flow situation to get resolved over at Disney. In any case, it's good that Bob Iger is looking at this from this perspective. I really hope fans react positively. I actually think 2 movies a year and maybe 1 or 2 series on Disney Plus is plenty of live action content from Marvel and something Marvel can achieve while maintaining those quality standards that are so important to everybody. Let's sit back and watch what happens. I actually trust what Bob Iger is doing here, and hopefully over the next couple of years, well, Marvel will be completely back on top. But we're gonna have to wait and see.